Hello, good afternoon to all of you. So this time, I will present to you, we have Mathematics 10, Quarter 3, Module 6, What's More, Lesson 2A. Again, we have Mathematics 10, Quarter 3, Module 6, What's More, Lesson 2A. Title: we have probability of compound event. Probability of compound event. Objective: illustrates probability of compound event. Again, illustrates probability of compound event. What's more, lesson 2A. Okay, here is the problem. 3 fair coins are tossed. What is the probability that at least 2 tails come up? So that's number 1. Number 2. What is the probability that a head comes up? Number 3. What is the probability that a tail comes up? And number 4. What is the probability that at least 2 heads come up? We are going to use the formula. We have probability of an event is equal to the number of outcomes in the event over the number of outcomes in the sample space. We have, from the given problem, 3 pair coins are tossed. What is the probability that number 1, at least 2 tails come up? So duha ka tail ang mogawas. This time, we're going to find the outcomes in the sample space. Since there are 3 pair coins, so we are expected the number of outcomes is equal to 8. Because using the fundamental counting principle, we have 3 coins and there are 2 faces. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8 outcomes. Anyway, we have now the H or the head. Then we have the head tail, the head tail head, the head tail tail, tail head tail head tail. We have tail head, and we have tail tail. So there are 8 outcomes in the sample space. This time, we are going to find the number of outcomes in the event at least 2 tails come up. So we have first the head and the 2 tails. Next we have the tail, head, and tail. So these are the outcomes of the event at least 2 tails come up. So there are how many? There are 2 outcomes. Again, the outcomes of the sample space equals 8 outcomes, and the number of outcomes in the event is equal to 2 outcomes. Now, solution. We're going to use, again, the formula we have of an event that is at least 2 heads come up is equal to number of outcomes in the event all over number of outcomes in the sample space. So we have now the number of outcomes in the event is equal to 2, and the number of outcomes in the sample space is equal to 8. So we have 1/4. And This is the probability of getting at least two tails. So we have the probability is equal to 1/4. We have number 2. The same problem. You are going to find the probability that a head comes up. So a head comes up, meaning there is only one head in the combination. So we have number 2. We are going to find the number of outcomes in the sample space. We have the event is a head comes up. Yes, we are going to find the number of outcomes in the sample space of the given problem. So we have again 3 heads, then we have 2 heads and 1 tail, and we have 2 heads and 1 tail, 2 tails and 1 head, 1 tail and 2 heads, we have 2 tails and 1 head, we have 2 tails and 1 head, and all are tails. So again, there are 8 outcomes in this problem. Then we have now find the number of outcomes in the event which is a head comes up. So we have here it's TT or head tail tail, and we have tail tail head. So there are 2 outcomes, a head comes up. We're going to use now the formula. We have now probability of getting a head comes up is equal to number of outcomes in the event over the number of outcomes in the sample space. So we have now, there are 2 outcomes of the event over 8 outcomes in the sample space. So we have now probability of getting a head comes up is equal to 1/4. Because if you are going to reduce 2 over 8, and that is equal to 1/4. And this is now the probability of getting a head comes up. So we have 1/4. Number 3, we have the same problem. We have now again the number of outcomes in the sample space. We have 8 outcomes, and a tail comes up. We have from the sample space, we have only 1 tail comes up. So we have now the head tail and the head tail head. So there are 2 outcomes. We have now the probability of the event tail comes up is equal to the number of outcomes in the event all over the number of outcomes in the sample space. So this will be, we have 2 over 8. We have the number of outcomes in the event is 2, and the number of outcomes in the sample space is equal to 8. So you're going to reduce 2 over 8. Again, the probability of getting a tail comes up is equal to 1/4. This is now the probability of getting a tail comes up. We have number 4. At least 2 heads come up. So this time, 2 heads will come up. And in our number of outcomes in the sample space, we have the same, and there are 8 outcomes. So we're going to find the number of outcomes, at least 2 heads come up. So we have now HHT or head tail, and we have head tail head or HTH. So still we have 2 outcomes in the event, which is at least 2 heads come up. So we are going to use now the formula. We have probability of an event that 2 heads comes up. Again, number of outcomes in the event over, we have number of outcomes in the sample space. So we have now number of outcomes in the event S2, then over number of outcomes in the sample space is equal to 8. We have now probability of getting at least 2 heads is equal to 1/4. Again, reduce 2 over 8 is equal to 1/4. So this will be now the probability of getting at least 2 heads. Other questions? Okay. So, we have again Mathematics 10, Quarter 3, Module 6, What's More, and we have Lesson 2. I hope you are following with you your module. So, you are going to follow your module if ever you are watching this video. So it's the end of my presentation, and this is Castor Ayuban, your teacher, and please subscribe and do not forget to hit the notification bell for some updates of my videos. Thanks for watching. For videos, please click here and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.